Hello everyone. So today we are going to speak about startups in the category of app-based bus booking services. So in the cities of Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, there are already so many commute options available. There are trains, there are metros, there are autos, there are cabs. And in spite of all of this, it's so strange that why do people pay more just to go to their office? Not because it is faster, not because it is more luxury, but just one simple promise that you will get a seat and you will reach on time. And that's how companies have built a businesses over 200 plus crore rupees in this domain, which is weird because when we look at it, we think commuting is a transport problem. How do you get from point A to point B? How do you get more faster? How do you get more cheaper? But if that's the case, then we are missing something out here because trains are more faster, buses are more cheaper, and cabs are more flexible. So if that is the case, why is someone ignoring all of those and going for a fixed route bus which has a higher price? Something doesn't add up. So let's zoom into a real day morning. You are ready to leave for your work, and even before your day starts, your mind is full of noise. Will I get late today? Will I get a spot in a train or a bus? Will the bus be on time? Will there be so much traffic? Should I take cab? Will the cab be expensive? Will it be the waiting time will be more? And will I get late again? So nothing has gone wrong yet. But you are already thinking, adjusting, planning. Every single morning, people make so many such small decisions because even before their actual work starts, this begins, and that's really exhausting. So the real problem is not transport, it is the uncertainty and the mental load. The part the most people get wrong is that it's not about commute, it is about this constant uncertainty around it, not knowing how your day will begin. So what if someone tells you that you don't worry about it, we'll take care of it? You don't have to decide anything, you don't have to guess anything, you don't have to fight every day morning. And that's exactly companies like Cityflo, Shuttl, Uber have understood. They didn't build better buses, they redesigned an entire commute experience. Fixed timing, so you know exactly when to leave. Fixed seat, so you don't have to fight for your seat. Fixed route, so there is no randomness, there is no crowd, and there is no chaos. So there is no confusion. And it's actually a rhythm. So they didn't go and change the vehicle. The vehicle was the same, but they redesigned the experience. So every day, same time, same seat, same route, no surprises. And slowly, this starts becoming your automatic. This becomes your default. Now you don't compare options. You don't open 3 apps and feel like what should I do today? You just go in the same flow. And when something like this happens and it becomes more predictable, it stops feeling like an alternative. It starts feeling like a routine. And the more it happens, it becomes your habit. So at the first glance, we'll see, it looks like they are selling AC buses, comfort, they are booking by app and everything. But that's not the real product. The real product is a predictable start of your day. You are not paying for the ride, you are paying for the calmness, the saved energy, the mental, peace, no decision making. And that is why this category makes sense, because people are not paying for their commute. They are buying their relief, that I don't want to get into this crowded train and feel drained before I reach office. And if we look at it, this becomes more interesting because every day at the same time, same seat, your brain just stops working hard. No stress about it. And when it gets routine, you don't want to compare these options. You don't want to feel like that, oh, okay, should I take a train today? Oh, I have a presentation. Will my clothes get, crumbled in train and so on. So when such things become a good experience, you want to do it again. And then the price doesn't become a decision making factor. It surely is, but it's not the main, because people aren't comparing this to bus price anymore. They are comparing it to their daily trip train exhaustion. They are trying to feel the mental fatigue, the drained, energy, the time loss, the emotional, effect this has on your day. So the choice isn't that is this cheaper than the other bus or other transport. It's more like, is it worth avoiding all of this? And so all these trade-offs becomes more like pay a little more and you get this service, or you start your day drained. And for working professionals, sometimes this decision isn't hard because this is, and that is how this category really exists in the market. So if you see, if this is so valuable, why would traditional transportations not do it, like trains and buses? Because they are not designed for it. They are designed for the mass audience, and they are trying to solve a different problem. They are trying to see how many maximum passengers we can do, how many maximum routes we can have, how we can accommodate a higher volume. So to removing chaos is not their priority. In fact, and on the other hand, there are companies like Ola, Uber, where they have built on demand things and they are flexible. So but it comes with their own cost. Like there is so much price volatility, there is not certainty, the cab might not come, the waiting period might be more. So in this two different spectrum of the public transport and the cabs, there is this gap, and which these companies have figured out, and they are banking on it. That how do you become so good that you solve their daily pain? And that is why this category exists. So for many professionals, the commute is not 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Sometimes it goes to 90 minutes one way. So 3 hours per day, doing it for 5 days in a week, and doing it for months or years, this is becomes a serious part of your life. This is no longer about luxury. This is about physical comfort. This is about the convenience. This is about the efficiency. And maybe this is why the category is surviving, because it removes the daily friction from your life. And when businesses began to invent in this way, it is where these simple question comes, that what are people tolerating that they are actually willing to pay to remove it? And urban commuting isn't just one entire linear system. It is a patchwork of different trade-offs, where you have to trade off between time versus money, comfort versus cost, flexibility versus predictability. And almost most of us keep making these trade-offs daily. And that is why if a category removes one of these trade-offs, it suddenly becomes more valuable. You don't have to decide every day. You don't right now see it as a bigger shift, but it is actually much bigger than what you think, because now you have a predictable morning. This becomes a part of your life. You feel your life is under control. How your day begins is under your control. You just open the app, you book a seat, you sit, you have your me time, you read a book, you can do whatever you want. And that is why it removes so much friction and chaos from it. And these small different daily things help people to quietly become more the quality of life increases, because these small things removes the friction from life, chaos from life. And finally, so the real question isn't how do I build something better. The real question is, what are people dealing on everyday basis that they would be willing to pay to stop dealing with. And that's very interesting, because what many of these amazing companies are doing, they are removing these daily frictions, small, something which compounds over days and months, and they are trying to give something which is where the users are making those trade-offs. So yeah, it's very interesting, and I've been very curious and learning a lot on these spectrums, and I would be happy to share again. Thank you so much for watching.